being very close to the landing pad. Welcome to the channel here, folks. The Hobby Drone Pilot channel, and today I have a drone in the air. It's the SJRC F22S2 Plus RX drone. Quite a mouthful. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this drone. I'm taking it out for its first flight since I became the owner of this drone. And I'm flying here from Front Street in Grand Turk. And I'm pushing out, and oh, I am in beginner mode. So I guess I'll have to bring the drone back to home, land it, disengage the beginner mode, save it, and then get back in the air, and then we can talk about this drone. So I'm bringing it back to the launch area. I purchased this drone from my nephew. He bought it in December last year and was disappointed in the camera quality and some other aspects of this drone, which I will talk about throughout this video. In this video, I'm going to fly from about 2 or 3 different locations, but I'm especially interested here in the camera quality. My nephew thought that the camera quality was very bad. I think that it is his biggest disappointment with this drone. It's a 2-axis gimbal drone. It boasts of a 4K camera with electronic image stabilization, can fly up to 40 minutes on one battery. It came with 3 batteries, nice, well built carrying case, and a DJI RC2 like screen controller. I'm going to talk about that in this video, but let me just land this drone and then get it back up in the air, and you can see exactly where I'm flying from here, just outside the Osprey hotel here in Front Street, and they could see my nephew and I right in the shade there as I bring the drone down. It also has obstacle avoidance in the front, works very well, so it's squawking there a lot as I actually bring it in. The video feed doesn't really look too bad at all, but it is how it looks on the SD card. That is important. So I have the drone back in the air. So when my nephew bought this drone in his initial flights, he thought that the drone wasn't performing as advertised, that there was some gimbal shakes, that the drone was taking a long time to gather satellites, that it was a little bit unsteady in the air. But most of all, the video quality sucked, in his opinion. And I believe he had 1 or 2 crashes with the drone, testing out the obstacle avoidance. And it became apparent to me that he was going to do some bodily harm to this drone if he continued his ownership of this drone. So I made him an offer, and we agreed, and the rest is history. So this drone is now part of the Hobby Drone Pilot stock, and you're going to see many, many videos of this drone. This drone boasts of a 6,000-meter range. We'll put that to the test in a subsequent flight. But I'm having no issues right now with the drone. The horizon is level for two axis gimbal drone, flies very smoothly, but it is a big boy. It is well over 600 grams, pushing to 700 grams. It is built like a tank, like an oil tanker. It's a brick. It's a very big drone. Not very loud, surprisingly, but the controller is pretty impressive. Bright screen, no dimming. It also has onboard storage, like 20 gigabytes of storage. You could record voice to the video while you're flying without inserting an SD card. It has return to home and low battery, loss of signal, etc. So all the built-in fail-safe features of other high-end drone, this drone has those features. The problem is that my nephew thought that this drone would have been like an A3 or an A3S, a DJI like drone, etc. I think that was too much to ask from a budget drone manufacturer because SJRC manufactures some very good budget drones. They have been in the business for quite some time, and I believe that they have a lot of other companies cloning their drones, like the HS or Holy Stone 600 and the Holy Stone 600D, like Phoenix Pro, those are Jones, or the Roku, those are Jones that are clones of this specific drone. So yeah, my nephew was disappointed that he wasn't getting a DJI like performance out of this drone. Could fly on one battery up to 40 minutes. So I'm in a different location here, and I'm just checking out some of the intelligent flight features here. Circle, rise, or you know, etc. And it is performing as any good quality budget drone would. It has a level 5 wind resistance. So yeah, that's a photo. How does it look? Please tell me in the comments. I suspect from what I'm seeing that the camera is not on par with the Potensic Atom 2 or even the Fimi 3 or the DJI Mini 4K. Quality looks a little subpar, doesn't look that sharp, but it may be good enough for a beginner. Here again, I'm at another location at the Navy base here and the ridge in Grand Talk, and it's windy here. But this drone is built for this sort of environment. And for big drone, it is very quick. Um, no lag at all in the transmission, in the feeder coming back to the controller. So personally, if I had purchased this drone at first instance, I don't think that I would have been disappointed because I wasn't going to expect more than what the drone is capable of delivering. I think my nephew was expecting too much. The drone is what it is, a budget drone, and a budget drone, I believe, that does what it advertised to do. And I'm hoping one of these days while I'm flying here that I'm going to see a shark or something in the waters here. My wife aunt once remarked that in days gone by, um, lots of shark used to lurk in these waters. Shark with big cheese on their backs. So if we are lucky, we might be able to spot a shark with a tree on its back. Who knows? But yes, a little windy here at the old Navy base here in Grantown, just flying outside the lighthouse and flying down to the um, North Creek area. And now I'm just getting a low battery warning, and the drone has initiated a return to home. It's coming back rapidly. So, yes, right away, I can attest that the fail safe return to home works. The drone calculated that it only had enough battery power to come back to home. Didn't start out in a full battery anyway, and it is coming back. So the return to home, the fail safe return to home, actually works. And when it lands, I'm just going to change out the battery and put another one and take it up for another flight and see if it continues to perform as well as it has done so far. Waters look pretty impressive there. Nice turquoise waters, clear and clean, and you can see the drone just reposition itself and it is coming down for the landing. But please tell me in the comment, how does the video quality looks? Is it acceptable? Is this a drone that you would buy? I am not in a rush to say that this is a drone that anyone should buy. It is within the $500 price range. One of the problems with SJRC, as I relaunch the drone in the air, one of the problems with SJRC is that I believe that they still use some rather old technology. So, for example, the drone takes a long time to get satellites, takes a long time to get up to 10 satellites. But once it has the right amount of satellites and it gets in the air, it is um, fairly steady. But SGRC needs to probably upgrade the software, because a lot of the other clones of this drone, like the HS600, the HS600D, or Roku or Phoenix, I believe that the cameras on those drones are much better than the camera on this SJRC F22S plus XR drone. But as a beginner, is the camera good enough? That is the question. We have seen that the intelligent features work. It has good range, etc. In fact, in this flight now at this location, I am actually going to test out the range. This is another day, the following day, and I'm going to push out a little towards over island, probably about 3,000 feet or so, and let's see how good the signal is. Let's see what sort of range we're going to get. And this drone pushing out towards overland. I'm actually blocked here by foliage, by a lot of trees here. So let's see what the signal looks like. Just raising the drone gimbal fairly smooth. But my nephew, when he had this drone, he had some issues with the gimbal. Moving up and down, there was a lot of shaking and unsteady videos. Haven't actually replicated itself here, but I suspect there's a little bit of shaking. Nothing really that bad as in previous videos when my nephew did his initial flights of this drone, but I detect a little gimbal shake when I pan the camera up and down, but it's fairly smooth. And it also has zoom. You could zoom like 4 times. So I may also try out the zoom here, but it flies really, 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 really good. No issues at all, no complaints at all about flying, and it flies straight. And probably because of its weight and how it is built, I don't think that the wind is going to toss this drone about at all. And it comes back to home pretty quickly, so it's fast, has good speed. So I'm pushing out, and that little plot of land you're seeing in the pond there is over island. So I'm going to push out there and see how far this drone gets without any serious signal interruptions. In fact, I'm already getting a little signal warning, poor signal, but I'm pushing out, coming up to 3,000 feet. No major glitch, but I sense that very shortly I'm going to get a loss of signal. Return to home, but it is smooth and the horizon is absolutely level. So this drone has something on Fimi or even Hobson, and for to access gimbal drone with electronic image stabilization, it's pretty good. So now I'm engaging the zoom here, just zooming out a little. 3 by. How does it look? Is there any loss of quality? Looks pretty good. And the FPV screen here. So I've not encountered any of the serious issues that the previous owner encountered. Zoom is very smooth, no jerkiness, and, And I suspect that the video quality may look better than I anticipated, because what I'm seeing here and the controller is pretty good, and the controller feels well built, and it keeps that brightness. There's not dimming. So for convenience, I think this drone is a plus. Say what you like about the image quality. This drone may very well be a winner, but I will have to do some more flights before I could give my verdict. The jury is still out, and I've zoomed about 3.5 times. Could go all up to right up to 4 times, and I have the impression that my FPV feed may be frozen just about 3,000 feet out. But this is a good test. I don't want to go any further here, and I believe the drone is going to go into fail safe return home at any moment, and it has turned right around, and it is coming back to the home point, or the launch point, as Walkara would say, and it is coming back very smoothly. So the other tests that we'll do is to see where it lands. In the previous fail-safe return to home, it came down pretty close, within 3 feet, 3 to 4 feet of the takeoff point. Let's see if it's going to be closer or further away on this return. But I don't have much negatives about this drone so far. I'm very sorry that my nephew had too high an expectation of this drone, and his expectations were dashed. But he would recover, and he has several other drones that he can avail himself of. But he has always been fascinated by SJRC, because he thought that they make good quality budget drones, but he thought that this was some sort of premium drone, probably because of the smart controller, which works pretty well. So the drone is right back, almost over the home point. It has turned around to face the direction that it took off, and it's coming down rather slowly. Probably is going to land somewhere within the ballpark, but I suspect that it is going to be way off from the launch point. But it is acceptable given the price, and as I say, SJRC probably still using some sort of old technology on these drones, because the clones appear to me to perform just a little better than the original. But the drone is coming down, and let us look at the landing and see where it is going to land. And here it is, a little bit off. Well, no, more than 10 feet off, but at least it knows where it is. So you can see it's coming down. It's going to be quite a distance from the landing pad. Yeah, much further than I anticipated. Ooh, that's a good, quite good quite a distance, but okay.